Hello! Welcome back to my channel and another episode of Homebrew Mythic Climb. It's day 3 on our journey. I'm Ricky, and let's dive right in. So while this is loading up, just a reminder, I am piloting my friend's Homebrew deck. We didn't look it up, we didn't copy it from any list, we just janked it up. And he made it all the way to Mythic last season, and I'm trying to do the same this season. So far it's not going so well. We have something like a 44% win rate, but let's see if I can do any better today. So let's see, 4 lands, early kill spell, early creature, and a Maul the Skyclaves. Very vulnerable to any creature removal, but with 4 lands and some playables, I think I'm gonna have to just hope for some good draws. So here we are. I don't have any turn 1 plays, so I can... Well, I already have 4 lands, so I don't need to do my Fabled Passage. And I already have access to black mana, so again, I don't think I need to Fabled Passage that early. I did notice that my untapped GG didn't 100% sync properly to my own tracking sheet for whatever reason, so hopefully that doesn't become too much of an issue. Alright, so let's see, Blue Monarch Aspirant was my play. Yeah, so according to my own tracking, I've played about 19 games, but Untapped GG has only recorded 15 of them for whatever reason, so not sure what the deal is with that. So I don't have any other plays except Speaker of the Heavens, so I guess I'll go ahead and do that. I'll have my Temple of Silence here for the Scry, which I get a Hushbringer, which is excellent. We do need our little flying lifelinkers. Nope, I will not take that trade, thank you very much. My opponent drops his 3rd land. My opponent's name is Westmal. I can kill the Blood Chief's Thirst, or I can kill the Lovestruck Beast with Blood Chief's Thirst. However, I think... actually, that's not a bad plan, considering next turn I can play Hushbringer and Maul the Skyclaves at the same time. If I kill the Lovestruck Beast with Blood Chief's Thirst this turn, I can swing in for 1 damage, so I think I'll go ahead and do that. I'll drop this as a Swamp, because it doesn't make too much difference when I have Fabled Passage in my hand. So here we are, Blood Chief's Thirst onto the Lovestruck Beast, and we attack for 1. So yeah, I'm not sure what happened with Untapped GG over there, but good thing I've been keeping my own spreadsheet, so we'll go with our spreadsheets for the win rate. He attacks for 1 again. I will not trade, I don't need to. He has a secondary backup Lovestruck Beast apparently. He has the 4 lands, he plays the second Lovestruck Beast. That is a little bit unfortunate for me. That's okay, I have Hushbringer coming in with Maul the Skyclaves onto Speaker of the Heavens, and I can attack for 3, because now I'm in the air. Hopefully I stop drawing lands. I don't need any more lands for this deck. I need gas, and he most likely has other copies of Bonecrusher Giants or Primal Might to get rid of my flyers over here. So notice what happened early on. We were planning to play Luminarch Aspirant because we didn't have any turn 1 plays. But then when turn 2 came along, we drew Speaker of the Heavens with the Luminarch Aspirant. I chose to play the Aspirant first because it's more mana efficient of a play. So he's offering up a token for a trade. That looks a little bit suspicious with him having 4 mana. He probably has an Embercleave in his hand right now. Yep. So he's going to deal a whole bunch of damage to me. I am not in good shape. My opponent has pretty much curved up perfectly. When you're playing a Gruul Embercleave deck, what they have on board is basically their dream. And of course, like I said, I always mana flood. That's just the story of my life. A second Maul the Skyclaves. That could be fun, I suppose. It's not going to win us the game, but here we are. 12 life left. I suppose if he attacks with this, I'm pretty much going to straight up lose because I don't have any way to block that properly. All he really needs to do is attack with his Lovestruck Beast, and he'll be fine, but now it's 12. I'll gain 3, -2, so I might be at 1 life unless he has some pump spell or a secondary Embercleave. He does cast the Bone Crusher Giant on it. That's not enough so far, and he has more Bone Crusher Giants on it. So that's it. We'll offer the GG. So turn 1, how many deck? We have 48 cards left in our library. 48. 48, and we have how many lands? 7 lands. So we did get mana screwed or flooded. We lost this one. Definitely not a free game, and we are down to gold 3 at 2 pips. I don't know why that took so long to load. And here we are, on to the next game. My opponent is Edwardius. Opponent's going first again. We have a similar hand. We have a turn 2 creature that we want. We have a support spell. We have the Skyclaves. We also have our secret weapon, Snapdex. So I suppose I will keep this just to see how it goes. I think I'm getting a feel for this deck. I think I would rather mulligan this, but let's see how we fare. So no turn 1 plays. We'll just leave it at the plains, and we'll look to get our Ghastly Gloomhunter out. So between Ghastly Gloomhunter and Hushbringer against Croxicolors, I think I would rather have Hushbringer stay alive. So I'll just throw out the Gloomhunter to bait out any spells. It'll be his kill spell. He'll very, very likely kill it right now. Yep. Spikefield Hazard. Unfortunately, that is a kill spell that you know, wouldn't have killed Hushbringer, so we didn't draw out any resources from our opponent here. My opponent casts an early Temeric Calls the Dead. He'll get a zombie token. That is fine with me. So I will cast my Hushbringer because that's the only play I have. Because I don't really need to Bloodchief's Thirst a 2/2 token, and I will play my Skyline instead because I have no other plays. Baneslayer Angel coming out next. That's kind of clutch. I would rather see 5 lands, but Baneslayer Angel is super powerful and does have some survivability against Croxa decks, so we will try and get her out. Fortunately, my opponent has Bone Crusher Giant. Again, story of my life. And my opponent's Magmatic Channeler is already at 4. So we are forced to cast our Bloodchief's Thirst here onto the Channeler so we don't bleed out instantly. And hopefully I need a land next turn. But, of course, me being me with the Mana Curse, I'm definitely almost certain, even with 45% chance of drawing land, I'm not going to draw a land. But let's see what I get. Oh, I draw land! Baneslayer Angel comes out. If this gets Heartless Act, if he has a Heartless Act, I'm going to be so sad. Murderous Rider, just great. Like I said, my opponents always have exactly the right cards at the right time. It doesn't matter who I'm playing against or what deck I'm playing. This just always happens. It's kind of comical, but you know, sometimes you just gotta smile, laugh it off, and hope your luck turns around sooner or later. And unbelievable, I'm mana flooding again. Here we are. Like, what do you know? No Priest of Oblivion, at least that's a creature, I suppose. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lands, 46. Again. So I'll pass turn and offer the GG. So game 2, no mulligan. We flooded again. We are at 46-7. We lose this one, not free, and we are down to gold 3 at 1 pip. That's just me dictating to myself as I'm entering my data into my spreadsheet, which is linked below in the description. Did that show up below? Yeah, below in the description. Right into the next one, because there's not much to say, not much to learn when your deck just literally does nothing. In the second match, we did note that we had a gut feeling that we should start taking mulligans with hands that look like that. So maybe if we see something like that, we'll do it. But here we are, this deck, this hand here, obvious mulligan. We have 0 early plays. Definitely can't keep that. Here we have something slightly more reasonable, but still not ideal because we are stuck with no turn 1 plays. Lurrus is great for bringing stuff back in the graveyard, and we have lots of stuff that can go into the graveyard, so unfortunately our secret weapon Snapdex is going to have to go back into the library. Sir Arm Ann. Ooh, luckily enough we do have a white source, so we can start bringing out our little small creatures here. Hopefully we don't need to resort to getting a Fabled Passage for a tap land. Sir Arm Ann. Sir Armin? Arm Ann? Mills a card, mills a land. Okay, if I draw another land, I'd be pretty okay with that. My opponent is thinking for an exceptionally long time for a Dimir Rogues deck. I think, yep, I suppose he's considering whether or not to cast that, and he does so. So here we are. I will play the Hushbringer. Hopefully I can stomp out any Thief's Guild Enforcers mill triggers when they come in. But we'll see. It'll most likely die. As you all know, the Rogue deck, hyper efficient with the Bloodchief's Thirst and the Heartless Axe. Here we are. Oh, well, Brazen Borer. Yep, for decks that run those as well. Mills another land. I don't need a turn 3 land, so I will just scry. Baneslayer Angel is probably going to end up in the bin. I don't have enough mana to play it anyway, so I'll just let it get binned. I will cast my Hushbringer again. I'm playing Hushbringer first over Luminarch Aspirant because I would much rather it get the tokens. And here I can chump block, but it's kind of pointless too. He's just going to swing into this and force me to trade. Because he can use the Rankle trigger to make us both sacrifice a creature. That's okay. Next turn I'll probably just spend it casting Bloodchief's Thirst to kill the Rankle. I don't have quite enough mana. Ooh, okay. Each player sacrifices a creature. And he lets both of us draw a card. Okay, so I did get my Baneslayer Angel. Maul of the Skyclaves. Does that change my plan here? I don't think so. So I will get a Plains here. I do have more white pips than black pips in my hand. and I will just go ahead and kill this with my Bloodsheep's Thirst. I can't let him have too many options. And next turn, hopefully, if I draw another land, I can play something like Lurrus and get something back from the graveyard. Or cast Luminar Experiment and with Maul the Skyclaves to go aggressive. So unfortunately, I am now very vulnerable to counterspells, but the Rankle definitely needed to go. Like, for example, last turn he was tapped out, so I could pretty much cast anything I want. If I had cast Lurrus, and his Rankle stayed alive, his Lurrus could have flown over my head, and if he just played any other creature, he would have caused us to sacrifice Lurrus again anyway, so it wouldn't have helped. With the board looking like this, and my opponent has full mana, I suppose I would just cast Luminar Expert in case he counters that. I'll hopefully work through his counters sooner rather than later. My opponent casts his Brazen Borrower, so he can start swinging for 3, it looks like. He gets a Scry, hopefully he bottoms it. Nope, it's a card he wants, so it's probably a kill spell or a counter spell. Or another Brazen Borrower. That's a very curious card. So I'll cast my Selfless Savior in case he tries to do a kill spell on my Aspirant. He is free to counter it, but if he counters it, I guess that's fine. So yep, he does kill my Aspirant. My dog is now free to live, and I suppose I will cast my Lurrus now. And then that's the end of my turn. So I'm really hoping Lurrus gets to stay alive, that way I can cast Maul the Skyclaves onto Lurrus next turn. My opponent will obviously attack with that because he can only block flying. I do not have any flying blockers or flying creatures. Thief's Guild Enforcer, that is fine with me. And a Scavenger, of course. Just perfect. Alright, so I want to maximize my plays here. I definitely need a Skyclaves to start blocking. I think I would want my Hushbringer to stomp out any nonsense over here. Alternatively, I could cast my Aspirant. So first, we definitely need to, well, let's try and get a flying creature first in case he has a counterspell. He does not have a counterspell. So with that plan, I suppose I'll have to get my Speaker of the Heavens out instead. And then I will call it a day here. So now we're stuck on 4 mana. You see what happened last games. I got flooded out twice, and now I'm stuck on 4 mana. I just can't draw the 5th mana for my life. So let's see, 39-4. Let's see if that's even legit. 39-4. Pass to attackers. Let's see what my opponent does. He attacks for 5 and 3. I will obviously have to block my the Brazen Borrower because I do want to kill it. I will sacrifice it to save the Hushbringer. So now I am left at 4 life. A second Lurrus doesn't really help us. We'll definitely recast my Selfless Savior. So that makes it, that stays alive. I have a Maul of the Skyclaves. Hopefully he does not counter this. And I will stick it on my Speaker of the Heavens. which is now a 3/3 first strike flying with vigilance. So it's excellent for attacking and defending, and I don't believe I need my Hushbringer for defense anymore, so I will also attack with that to gain my 1 life. Gaining some precious life here to stay alive. Still no land. Thief's Guild Enforcer comes out. That's okay. We have the Hushbringer, so now we're at 38-4. When I say 38-4, it means we have 38 cards left in my deck, and I've only drawn 4 lands. There is a stats table that I use to calculate the probability of that happening, and it's a really low chance of happening, I believe. But we'll see. The deck does run 26 lands. My friend said that he hates it when he doesn't have enough mana to play. He hates that more than flooding out. But unfortunately, it's kind of worked out in the exact opposite for us. So he's planning on attacking with both, or all 3, which is interesting. I will just block his flying creature and call it a day. I'm at 5 life. That's fine with me. I finally draw planes. We do want to recast our Selfless Savior, so we'll go with that. And then I will just attack with all 3 of these creatures. The reason I'm aggressive with my Lurrus this turn I wasn't before is because I drew a 2nd copy, so if it died I can cast it. In fact, I can cast a 2nd copy right now if I want to have an untapped copy of Lurrus in play, but I don't think that matters all that much, so I will end my turn now. So my opponent has no more blocks. It is now my turn. I do not need to recast my Selfless Savior, so that's great. Here we are, 6 lands. I think it's time to bring back another Selfless Savior. And we'll hardcast our Baneslayer Angel. Hopefully we can get some action with that. And we will attack with Speaker of the Heavens, Hushbringer, and our Lurrus again. Because now we have 2 Selfless Saviors, we can afford to be way more aggressive, particularly because now we have lifelink to float us. And even if whatever happens, our Lurrus manages to die, we have a 2nd copy, and our defense is perfectly fine again with the lifelink. And now that we have a 5/5 first striking Baneslayer Angel. So it seems like for once, our opponent didn't draw 10 copies of their kill spells. They only have 3 copies of the kill spells. Ooh, he's returning a whole bunch of creatures back from his graveyard, but they all get stomped by the Hushbringer. No Thief's Guild Enforcer triggers. And our opponent concedes. Alright. So, game 3. Let me jump in the queue first. Before I punch in the stats. Game 3, I believe we mulliganed here. We got screwed. We did win, not a free win, and it was gold 3. Now we're back at 3 pips. Some bookkeeping. Alright, we go first. 2 kill spells. That's pretty nice. A creature, plenty of lands, and a Maul the Skyclaves. So even though this hand seems very playable, it seems like our deck really relies on getting the early creatures out. So in the future, I might consider actually mulliganing a hand that looks like this. I don't feel fully confident that we have what we need to win with such a vulnerable Luminarch Aspirant. So we draw a second Maul of the Skyclaves. That doesn't help us in our need for more creatures. So if our Luminarch Aspirant dies here, we will have to hope to draw more creatures. Ooh, our opponent is forced to play another tap land. Ooh, we do draw another creature. So that is most excellent. We do have some pips here, so I'll have to play my Speaker of the Heavens here instead of Maul of the Skyclaves, just to spread out the love, so we stay on the offensive. I will put the 1/1 counter on Speaker of the Heavens because I'm planning on equipping Maul of the Skyclaves onto Speaker of the Heavens anyway. Unfortunately, it does get Spikefield hazarded, so you can say we have wasted this 1/1 counter, but our opponent takes 2. So it looks like our opponent has probably a Stonecrusher Giant to take care of our Luminarch Aspirant. Let's see. Let's see what we have at the top of our deck before we make our decision. Selfless Savior is most excellent, so we will keep that for sure. Whether or not I want to attach Maul of the Skyclaves, I'm a little bit hesitant. If I move to combat and he doesn't kill it, that might be slightly better, so I'll just try and put a 1/1 counter on it. Yep. And then now we attack with the Luminarch Aspirant. Hopefully it goes through. And then now that I feel that we're a little bit safer, I will try and equip a Maul of the Skyclaves onto it. So the reason I did all of those things in that order is because we had full mana open. With a 2/2, he could have still killed it pretty easily. He had one opportunity to kill it as the Luminarch Aspirant's ability was on the stack. So I wanted to make sure the counter went on it and I didn't waste my mana trying to play Maul of the Skyclaves. As well, I played Maul of the Skyclaves after the attack because I was afraid that he would play some weird blocker, and if we had mana open in combat, we could Heartless Act whatever blocker he played. So now we have a strong hold over here. I can cast Maul of the a second Maul of the Skyclaves onto our Luminarch Aspirant pretty safely because we have a Selfless Warrior to make it indestructible for 1 turn. We can add throw more counters at our Aspirant and attack for 8. So now my opponent will have to cast 2 kill spells at instant speed to get rid of my Aspirant. Because he'll have to kill both the Savior and the Aspirant. Iron Crag, ooh, 7 mana, what does he have? This doesn't look good. 7 mana is a lot of mana. Well, I guess we do have Bloodchief's Thirst to get rid of the Ujin this time, and we have 2 Maul of the Skyclaves, so all is not lost. However, I believe he will wipe the entire board actually, because it's every single permanent with mana X or less. So my opponent chooses 3. I will sacrifice my Savior, not because it will save the Aspirant or any of it, but because it will save itself from exile. So our only play here is obviously Bloodchief's Thirst to get rid of the Ujin. Very, very annoying. Opponent casts Solemn Simulacrum. So again, I don't know why they Wizards printed a card such as Ujin's the Spirit Dragon. It allows you to play a deck where you literally play nothing but lands for 7 turns, and as soon as you play Ujin, you wipe the board and you're still safe. It's really silly and it's completely pointless. I don't understand why cards like this are ever printed. For one, I will give them credit for creativity and flavor. I do understand part of the lore that Wizards of the Coast creates these vast universes where the Planeswalkers travels through times and planes to wage some interdimensional wars or whatever. And Ujin fits in perfectly with his abilities, but I mean, come on. When you bring it to gameplay, it's just so depressing. Bone Crusher Giant to my face. I don't want to kill his Solemn Simulacrums with my Heartless Act just yet, mostly because I don't want him to draw a card, and creatures like Bone Crusher Giant are much bigger threats. He plays his Ox, which is a 4/2. He gets to discard his hand and draw 3 cards, which is fine. He doesn't have that many other cards, so I believe I will use this opportunity to kill his Ox. And I believe I will also use this opportunity to kill his Bone Crusher Giant. I don't think I can afford to take too many hits. Unfortunately, we don't draw what we need. This is not a flood. 45 at 6, I don't believe that is a flood. I think that's perfectly reasonable. However, we do need to draw some sort of lifelink creature or some creature I can hope. 44/7. I think that's still a reasonable mana distribution, but we will check that. And I scry another land, of course. So here we are. Did not draw what I needed at all, so I will offer the concede. Good game, Achilles the 7th. I'm not sure what happened to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, but Achilles the 7th. I hope you get to where you want to go. I think this is also a flood. We lost this one, and back to 2 pips. Game number 5. Alright, let's see, what do we have? We have a 1, 2, 2, so we have a variety of creatures to choose from, our endgame in hand, and not a bad distribution of mana, so I believe I can keep this. I believe the plan will be to cast this as white mana, use this as black mana, and then hopefully we'll draw more lands before we need to Temple of Silence, but we only have 1 drops and 2 drops to play for now anyway, so having to play that tapped probably isn't too bad. Wow, this is a pretty regular name. Sam34 is his name. Is he Sam, and he's 34 years of age? Nobody knows. I'll get my Null Priest first. It does have Menace, and even if he plays 1 creature, we'll still get in for some damage next turn for sure. Unless, of course, he kills it. And, of course, if we play Luminarch Aspirant, we would end up putting the counter on Aspirant, which isn't necessarily the most efficient, and putting a counter on Selfless Savior is absolutely pointless. So he tries to Bone Crusher our Null Priest, which is fine with me. I would like to save that, thank you very much. We see another land, we have Baneslayer in our hand, we have a Fabled Passage, so I will keep the Swamp on top. We'll cast the Luminarch Aspirant. We will give our Null Priest a 1/1 token, and we will swing for 3 and gain 3 life. What is our MVP right now? Our MVP was what, like a land in game 3 where we were mana screwed for the longest time. So here we are. We'll play a swamp. We'll put the Maul of Skyclaves onto our Null Priest of Oblivion. We will put our 1/1 counter onto Null Priest of Oblivion, and we will attack with Null Priest of Oblivion. Like I said, it has Menace. When it has Flying, Menace, and First Strike, it's extremely difficult to block. So playing a big creature, big cheap creature like Bone Crusher Giant literally makes no difference to me whatsoever. He does get the double trigger for Brushfire Elemental. He does end up with Robber of the Rich as well. But look at this. He attacks for 11, and we just literally do not care. We do want to cast our Baneslayer Angel this turn, so in goes our Fabled Passage. We will search for, yeah, why not? We can get a Plains. Doesn't make too much difference here. We'll cast a Baneslayer Angel. We'll give the 1/1 token to Null Priest of Oblivion and attack for 7. So now he has 2 lethal threats that he must deal with. He has 1 creature with reach. He can block my Baneslayer Angel if he wishes, but he will have a lot of trouble blocking Null Priest of Oblivion still. Right now I can survive an Embercleave, so I don't even need to block. There's the Embercleave. I take 10 and 15, and that is nowhere near enough to get us. So this game is a prime, finally, after what, 20 something games, that is a prime example of what this deck is trying to do. Didn't need to mulligan, didn't get screwed with mana, we won this game. We were not given a free game. It is gold 3 at 4 pips. What was our land situation in that though? Alright, so we have early play, early support kill spell into our favorite Maul, the Skyclaves. Baneslayer Angel endgame, that's coming a little bit too early. It seems like the key is to get at least 2 early creatures, and that's what we have, and we have the mana to support it, so we'll keep this hand. We won't go for the mulligan. We'll cast this as a Plains, cast Speaker of the Heavens, and pass. Our opponent, Kane, Deckard Kane is playing a Yorion deck. We will play this as black mana. I do want the actually, because we have Speaker of the Heavens, which is just perfectly fine a creature to attack with. We would want to start pumping. We do want to start pumping counters onto it. So I will play Luminarch Aspirant in favor of Null Priest of Oblivion. Our opponent still has not much to do, so I will play Null Priest of Oblivion. Let's see if it gets countered. I believe with the Yorion deck, they don't run too many counters. They might run Essence Scatters, depending on the player, and they probably have Omen of the Sea. So I will be aggressive and pump another one onto Speaker of the Heavens. And I will just attack with Speaker of the Heavens because our Aspirant might run into a really annoying rogue. I don't want it to die, and it's not worth the 1 damage, even though it looks like we're in a completely dominant board. The Yorion deck always pulls these control surprises, and it's pretty annoying. Oh, and another way to look at the Luminarch Aspirant play, by putting the Luminarch Aspirant, giving our Speaker of Heavens a 1/1 counter, and then a second 1/1 counter the turn after, it's actually, I think we end up gaining more life than we would have if we played no priest first and then attacked with both. I believe that is how the math works out. So our opponent taps out for a support card Trail of Crumbs. It doesn't do too much for him, so we can just go ahead and go full offense. Cast Maul of the Skyclaves onto our Speaker of the Heavens because it has Vigilance. We'll put up 1/1 counter on Null Priest to spread the love. And then now we'll smash into our opponent. We have a bajillion life, and we have... Oops, I don't want to equip. We have a 4/4 Angel. So this turn, we are very, very, very vulnerable to Shatter the Sky. Our opponent... Oh, actually, no. This is not a white mana-based Yorion deck. So our opponent casts Enigmatic Incarnation into... At the end of your instant, you sacrifice enchantment if you do search for a creature card with converted mana cost equal to 1+. So our opponent finds Skyclave Apparition and gets rid of our Speaker of the Heavens. So that is precisely why we decided to get rid of or start spreading the counter love onto our other creatures. I think all I need to do here is just kill the... Oh, oops. I can't kill the Skyclaves yet because it is converted mana cost 3. Another Maul of the Skyclaves, I think I'm fine with that. But here, I believe if I attack with my Menace over here and my Angel, we should have enough lethal damage to call the game. So this is almost a free game because our opponent basically got to do nothing, but I still don't really consider that as a free game. Free games are when our opponent just concedes for literally no reason. So 6, did not mulligan. We didn't flood as far as I noticed. Win or lose, we won this one. Not a free game. We are now at goal 2. Maybe for confirmation bias or positive bias or survivor bias or however you want to call it, I should consider recording my land situation even in situations where I win. It might be a case where mana flooding sometimes works to our benefit, so I should consider doing that from now on. So our opponent Xanos goes first. We have 3 early plays into a Snapdax, but the Snapdax can only mute into the dogs, but whatever, I think that's good enough for us to go. Against red deck wins. Ooh, yikes. Ooh, Bloodchief's Thirst. That could do us some good. We definitely need the white mana. We have a swamp, so I will cast this as white. We'll play Speaker of the Heavens. Hopefully we can start gaining some life. Actually, I think that was a mistake. I should have played Selfless Savior first. Oof, our opponent only steals a land, so that's good. We see a swamp. We want to cast Bloodchief's Thirst here on the Robber of the Rich, so we will go ahead and do this. And then we will cast Selfless Savior here. And then gain a paltry amount of 1 life. Our opponent casts Annex, which I believe is fine unless they have Embercleave next turn. We have the 5 lands, but we went second, so we are still very, very vulnerable here. So the best I can do is just cast a land, play a Savior, and call it a day. If my opponent has Annex, I believe we lose unless we draw a kill spell next turn. We don't have enough time to wait for Snapdax. Opponent attacks, does not, he decides against it, so it is still our turn. Excellent, we have another filler turn that allows us to cast a bat, and that makes our Snapdax much more potent because our Snapdax will now go in with flying, and we will pass the turn. If our opponent has Embercleave here, I believe we can still survive as long as we block their other creatures. Unfortunately, he did get another power boost in the form of Fervent Champion. He has an extra land, he has a lot of power, and he almost definitely has Embercleave now. So Embercleave will give this 7, 8, 16 power. 16 power. What we'll do here is we will declare blockers. We will block the Fervent Champion. We will block the other Fervent Champion, so we gain the 1 life. So that is, with the Embercleave, that is, again, 7, 8, 16, 17, 18, 18, and we gain 1 life. So we do need to block the Hellhound, unfortunately. So that just gives us, that leaves us with blocking the Hellhound. Yep, I was correct. Because I play red deck wins a lot. He postured the entire time with the Embercleave over here. Oh shoot! First strike damage. I forgot to sacrifice before letting it go to first strike damage, so I just lost a whole bunch of creatures for no reason. Uh-oh, I think that might be my demise, actually. I think having that one extra creature would have made a difference. Oh, I got too excited there. So I can deal 4 damage to that creature. He has Castle Embereth, so I will have to... If I attack now, I gain 6. I'll be at 15. 15 he can attach for free. That will be +2, +3, 6. Yeah, that's going to be way too much damage, especially if he draws a land. And these guys get pumped up too. So I think I need to just hold out. And of course he draws a Torbrand, so even if I did... Oh, my opponent does nothing. Okay, that's curious. So I will have this 1 turn capability to kick my Null Priest, which will allow me to bring back my Selfless Savior. And I think we can pull a little bit more shenanigans this way. He equips it onto Torbrand. I believe he will try and swing with everything. Nope, he does not. Unfortunately, I draw another land, so that doesn't help. Yeah, if I had my Speaker of the Heavens, I think I might be a little bit better, but I believe my opponent could have already won. I'm not sure why he's stalling, so if I attack here, I gain 6, but no, I need to save it to block Torbrand, but I think at this point it's too late because he's so wide and he has the Castle Embereth, he doesn't even need to do anything and he will win. So I will block here. I will block here. I will block here. And then first strike damage. He gets that. I will give my Snapdax indestructible, but it doesn't matter. I believe with the Torbrand I'm taking way too much damage, so all of these sources will deal a bajillion damage to me, so I am dead. So that was one very, very large misplay on my part, unfortunately. Oh, I forgot to check the land. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 45, 7. Maybe we can count that as a flood. We lost this one, not a free game. We are still at gold 2 and 0 pips. So I did make one mistake, but I don't think it would have made a difference based on how our opponent drew. But mistakes are bad anyway, so we should always be trying to play our best. So even though it wouldn't have made that much of a difference, it's important to keep those things in mind so we don't make those mistakes later. We are up against the Magician. We are playing Magic, so does that make me a Magician as well? I go first. So I only have one creature here. Is this what I have to mulligan? I am going first. If I'm going first, I don't get to draw as many cards, but all right, let's try this. Let's try this one more time. And if this goes poorly, I'll start mulliganing hands that look like this. Our opponent is playing the Mirror Rogue, so it looks like I definitely should have mulliganed. Baneslayer Angel not going to help us until way too late, unless we draw many lands in a row. Our opponent only casts a Ruin Crab. That is good news for us because we can just Heartless Act it. He gets rid of our Lumarak Aspirant and our Maul of the Skyclaves and our Selfless Savior, unfortunately. So that is a lot of gas that we could have used. We draw a second Maul of the Skyclaves. That's kind of depressing. I suppose I'll just have to go full aggressive here. I can't afford to be waiting around hoping for something to happen, so I will attack him. I'll let him mill some extra cards with his Ruined Crab. See, my thinking was if I cast Heartless Act to kill his crab, our creature's going to die anyway, so we would have been 2 damage behind. And here we are. We have nothing left to do except to kill the Ruined Crab. And of course, when I need mana, I don't draw mana. Our opponent gets Lurrus. He's planning to get Ruined Crab back. Fine by me. 4th land, unfortunately, still doesn't help us. So, sucks to be me. Untapped.gg's deck helper tells me I have about 45% chance of drawing a land next turn, so we'll have to see. We'll have to see how lucky I am. So it's much harder for us to do a Mana Screw analysis here because we have had cards milled. So we'll play Hushbringer. He probably has a counterspell. Yep. Which is fine, but you know there's nothing we could do anyway, and we're looking to kill his Lurrus as soon as he plays it anyway. Here's a Ruined Crab, another Fabled Passage trigger. Of course, like what I also love playing mill decks. When you start with your half of the deck with 2 Ruined Crabs and 2 Fabled Passages, that is pretty much the dream. So again, just my luck. Playing against opponents who just draw the better half of their deck. But sometimes that just happens. Today I already feel a bit more cheerful about that. I have been completely face-planting into their nonsense. So he has another counter spell, but we really need to save it for Lurrus. And again, our deck is just drawing the absolute worst possible. So yeah, the lesson learned here is if you don't have at least 2 creatures in your hand, just mulligan. Just mulligan. Alright? I'm just gonna have the mulligan. That's it. 1 creature in hand, just try mulligan. Go for a mulligan. Opponent has Lurrus. It needs to instantly die. Unfortunately, he does get his Ruined Crab back. So now we do have 5 lands, which is excellent. We can cast our Baneslayer Angel. Hopefully he has run out of kill spells. But of course we've only played 1 card, so I'll bet he has plenty of kill spells. What do you know? Surprise, surprise. Selfless Savior. Equip Maul the Skyclaves onto it. That costs 4 mana, but yeah, it's fine. I can keep this in my hand as a surprise. I'm hoping this stays alive so I can cast Snapdax onto it, but again, way too many efficient kill spells in Dimir Rogues. All of Dimir Rogues' kill spells hit our creatures. Our opponent started with the half of his deck with 3 ruined crabs in... I don't even know what to say to that. Speaker of the Heavens, alright. Again, a little bit more potential here. But it's going to meet its demise almost instantly as well. Luckily enough, we do have First Strike. Our opponent is going to try and mill us to death here. We will have to definitely block. I don't think my opponent realized I have First Strike. So our Snapdax, we can't mutate without red mana, or we can't mutate onto something that's non-human, so here we are. My best bet is to try and resolve this Maul of the Skyclaves and attack for 5. It's flying First Strike lifelink. If my opponent kills this creature, we are in horrific shape. Yep, to nobody's surprise. Ooh, Lurus, that's fun. Alright, we'll cast a Lurus unless it gets countered here. Mystical Dispute, unfortunately I'll have to pay that. My opponent casts Into the Story. And that's game, because he mills 12 cards with his Fabled Passage, and he's going to attack with his Soaring Thought Thieves. Well, lesson learned, should mulligan when you see cards or hands like that, especially against the Dimir Rogues. So, what is our board situation? Oh wait, that doesn't count. 1, 2, yeah, that's too difficult to count whether or not we got mana screwed. I don't feel like we did though, so win or lose, we lost. Free game. Gold 2. Did we drop? Are we still gold 2? I don't actually know. I'll have to check. I'll check later for you guys. I just want to dive right into the next one. Ready! Dantron X? What? 2 creatures, 2 creatures. So, according to our rule, we can keep this hand. Opponent goes first. Yeah, sure, why not? We'll keep this hand. Ooh, excellent. We see the Hushbringer, which is decent against that color, that combination. I think. Ooh, this is an Adventures deck. What do we do against Adventures? Let's try getting the Null Priest out nice and early because we have the Skyclave option here. I think Null Priest can survive. Ooh, red mana, Lovestruck Beast. Alright, alright, alright. I see your Lovestruck Beast. It's fine with me. Don't think I need either of these creatures just yet. I will have Maul the Skyclaves onto the Null Priest, and I'll swing for 4. Bone Crusher Giant, hard cast for Innkeeper value. I'll take 5. I'll take 6 here. I believe I'm forced to block here, and we are drawing a ton of lands again. We don't. Do we want to cast Hushbringer here? Yeah. Let's try. Whenever you cast a creature spell, so that doesn't. So Hushbringer won't stop the Innkeeper triggers. Lurrus doesn't really help us, so let's cast the Hushbringer and use Temple of Silence to scry. Maul the Skyclaves will help. And yeah, I think I'll attack into this. We gotta stay aggressive, even though it looks like they have a lot of swing back capability. They destroy our Maul the Skyclave, and they get a Scavenging Ooze, so our Lurrus is now looking very useless. We'll take 9 damage. That's not an issue for me. Our opponent has drawn a bajillion cards, which is not good for us. But I believe I need to keep up the aggression, so I will have to cast Maul the Skyclaves here, especially because Lurrus is going to be very useless with Scavenging Ooze in play. So I think, yeah, I'll definitely just need to play a land, Maul the Skyclaves onto our Null Priests, and then swing for 4, 3-turn clock, 5 doesn't make a difference, so I'll put my Hushbringer back as a flex option. If he has an Embercleave, I'm dead anyway, so the block I don't think will make too much difference here. He has the Embercleave, so I'm dead anyway. Makes no difference. So I believe we flooded again, 48. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lands. 48, 7 again. Oops, I think this is game 9. Yep. Game 9, let me jump in the queue first. Didn't mulligan, we flooded, we didn't win. Definitely not a free game, I think. Ah, shoot, alright. This time I'm gonna have to check whether or not I'm still at gold 2. Still at gold 2, alright. Alright, alright. Not too bad. Jumping back into the queue. Chris Noir. Not Noir. Noir. Chris Noise. Opponent goes first with a Lurrus, so probably rogues again, and we draw 2 creature with all 3 colors, so I think we're gonna have to keep this. Playing against rogues, I believe we've already lost anyway, so we'll see how this plays out. He has a Lurrus, so kind of killing it with Blood Chief seems kind of silly. so perhaps we'll just save it, and we'll go from there. Second Ruin Crab, of course. Again, I don't know what to say. My opponents just always have exactly what they need. Play a Swamp. So Menace isn't really going to help us anymore, so we're going to... Ooh, Menace flying first strike though. Alright, so that probably will help us. We'll start with the Null Priest here. And then hopefully we can get Maul the Skyclaves in, and then we can have a turn where it's Hushbringer plus Ghastly Gloomhunter. But at this rate, they're just going to hold a counterspell and completely screw us over. But they don't, so that's good news. We are already milled quite heavily. Yeah, that's gonna be Maul the Skyclaves onto our Null Priest. Our Null Priest will attack here. He can't block because it has Menace. So one of the dangers of this deck, like my friend said, it's not that you'll lose to damage against rogues that draw their no kill spell side of the deck. It's you will more likely lose to deck out. So we'll see what happens here. Four lands. Play a Ghastly Gloomhunter. See how that goes. Play a Hushbringer. See how that goes. It seems to go fine, and we will attack for another 4. Fabled Passage. That's 12 cards. Very, very silly. Perhaps I should consider casting Bloodchief's Thirst to not lose instantly if they draw another Fabled Passage next turn. Into the Story, okay. I really need to get some cards that aren't lands. Okay. I guess I'll play this as a swamp and, I don't know, call it a day. Attack with everything. It's the best I can do. So I am in the danger of being milled to death, so I am forced to play Bloodchief's Thirst onto the Ruin Crab even though I don't want to. So we'll see what happens here. My opponent can cast the Lurrus, call the Death Dweller. Okay. Mills another 6 cards. Cling to Dust removes Lurrus. He gains 3 life. More lands, of course. I literally have nothing better to do except attack with everything. One of them is going to die. Nope, he sacrifices it instead to draw a card. Scrying here doesn't make a difference because I know he'll more than likely mill whatever anyway, so makes no difference. Soaring Thought Thief. Yep. Whenever a rogue attacks, he'll mill a bajillion cards. And there's 6, and that's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 lands. 8 lands. So I'll have to count the number of turns that I took there, but I have 8 lands at the end. I'll count them for you and show you how ridiculous that was. We didn't mulligan. We definitely flooded there. We lost. Was not free. I believe we drop here. Yep, we dropped to gold 3 with 5 pips. Alright, I don't know how my friend got through all the way to Mythic without running into similar issues like this, because look at me. I'm literally not making any decisions and just losing. Like, that's where I'm at right now with this deck. Time after time, like this game, today we have 10 games and we have 6 mana floods or screws. A little bit frustrating, not gonna lie. Our opponent, ooh, Sam34 again. Did we just play this guy? Did we win or did we lose? What does he have? Don't remember. Oh, well, we only have 1 creature and our opponent's going first. Alright, whatever. I mean, I said I needed to mulligan hands like this. And of course, just again with my luck, I just draw more lands. This is the look of despair, people. The look of despair. What am I doing to deserve this? Honestly, I just don't understand. I suppose this card has given us issues before, so we'll just get rid of it now. $51.6. Edgewall Innkeeper. Are you kidding me? 57 again. Just... Well, at least we have a Maul of the Skyclaves, and if he doesn't kill it, he will be in trouble, but I just don't understand. I don't understand. Check out the Google Sheets where I have all of these messed up mana flood events tracked and percentage calculated. Like, I just don't understand. I literally do not understand how this is happening. From our day 1 statistics, what is it? 57. So when you have 50 cards left in the deck and you have drawn 7 lands, it is a 5% chance of occurrence, and we've seen that happen to us twice already just today. Unbelievable. Alright, another Plains, another Maul of Skyclaves, 5/5 flying first strike. Looks pretty good. If our opponent has Primal Might, it'll be Bad News Bears. He plays a Scavenging Ooze instead, which is fine with me. He doesn't attack, which I think might be a bit of a mistake here. Because now I'll be able to get 4. Are you kidding me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 48, 8. Okay, that's another mana event. 48, 8. This is just, I don't... Do I shuffle the deck to make it thinner? Is that gonna help? That's gotta help, right? And then we get to tap this guy for a 4/4 Angel. Most excellent. I can survive an Embercleave attack here, so yep, even though I got mana screwed that badly, I still win. Didn't mulligan, got really lucky here. Not a free win, and I believe that puts us back to gold 2 at 1 pip. So, I think that's 4 wins for today. Thank you so much for coming along for this ride and watching me, you know, get pushed around on this struggle bus. Check out the rest of this series playlist if this is the first video you've caught, and there are some other channel on my stuff. I just got started, so helpful comments and suggestions are definitely much appreciated. Please leave them anywhere, in my email, in the comments below would be nice. You know, my other stuff, so far I really just have pack openings. I hope you enjoyed those. If you're on YouTube, like and or subscribe, ring it if you feel it. And if you're on Twitch, follow me on Twitch. I need to update a lot of stuff on the banners. I need to get a new webcam. I need to get a better mic. But hopefully we'll get there. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you later.